Hello,
Morning,
can
ma'am.
you hear?
Good morning. Yeah. So you, when you come to the Whitefield campus, this is this is the statue which will normally kind of welcome you right at the gate. It's there's a quote by Einstein: "I never teach my pupils. I only provide them the conditions in which to learn." So that is one of the mottos of Deens Academy, and where we try to make fun learning a fun experience, and route to excellence is our motto. So today, this is like an aerial picture of the Deens Academy Whitefield campus. The poor green area which is in front is the ECC campus. Part of it is going away, becoming a prestige property again. But until then, this was the picture about 3-4 years ago. So we are a CBSE school which has up to grade 12. We work out of 2 campuses, Whitefield and Gunjur. Both of them have up to grade 12. But today's presentation is about grade 1 to 10 at the Whitefield campus. So that is for ages grade 6 years to 16 years. So mainly the school has 3 sections. We call it the primary section, which is the formative years, grade 1 to 4. And the exploratory years, middle school, which is grade 5 to 8. And the conforming years, which is grade 9 to 12. However, this presentation is only up to grade 10. So let me talk a little bit about the primary school, grade 1 to 4, ages 6 to 10. So at the age of 6, until the age of 6, normally the children do not really get into, you would see that, they, even if they have, if you have twins in the class, if you have a brother and sister, you have cousins, even if they are best friends, they will sit parallelly or sit near each other and they will work, they will play with their own games. But normally up by the age about 5.5, 6, they learn to work as a group. So a lot of the we introduce them to paired work or collaborative work or teamwork from grade 1 onwards. Until grade 1, the children are unable to work as a team. So it's an introduction of working in team. We do this both in the academic fields as well as the co-scholastic, like in sports and all. They are introduced to traditional team games so that they can start learning how to be together, work in a co-scholastic team. So the children develop, there's a lot, this is the time when the babies are ready to learn a lot. So we spend a lot of time in, developing their skills in music, dance, art and craft, yoga, all kinds of things. So a lot of everything that the school offers is normally introduced all the way in primary school itself. And from then onwards, it kind of tapers off. So primary school is packed with action, lot of co-curricular activities, a little bit of the core subjects. So a lot of time goes into, this overall studies that we say in primary school. So we make it very, very fun and interesting. We are a CBSE school, but we follow the playway method all the way up to 2nd or 3rd grade. Now, the core subjects in primary school are English, Hindi, and Kannada. So all 3 languages are compulsory. You have EVS, which is a combination of science and social studies. And you have mathematics. And co-curriculars will be sports, art and craft, dance, theatre, yoga, library. I will be talking a little bit about it. And co-scholastic, they are introduced to the computers in the computer lab. You have a math lab, which will help in, in getting the maths concepts that we are teaching. Then they have quiz, inquiry, life skills, and a lot of events, which I will be showcasing in this presentation. Now, most of these methodologies that we follow, like I said, is primarily in primary school, we still continue the kindergarten present playway method, where the children have introduced to a lot of games and fun activities based on which they learn. There is also a lot of Montessori, which is Montessori equipment that is used for learning that thing. We also use a lot of interdisciplinary models, which means in the English class, you will have an art activity or a dance activity, or in an EBS class, you would have a sports activity, or a mathematics, like, division, multiplication is very often taught on the sports field. So we have a lot of interdisciplinary modules in the primary school. And of course, we have a lot of field trips as well, where the children are able to travel somewhere nearby inside Whitefield itself, say a half-day trip, to be able to explore the world and see what is being taught around in what is, their surroundings, and a lot of experiential learning which it happens. So in kindergarten, they spend like about 70-80% of their time outdoors. In primary school as well, we try to keep them out of the, like, moving around and inside the campus and outside their classroom. At least 50% of the time there is a lot of movement, because as they grow older, then they're sitting more and more often. So here it's a lot of fun activities through which they learn. And of course, it's packed with a lot of learning. So the core subjects, like I said, the main language of facilitation is still English. In addition, both Hindi and Kannada will be compulsory. And in the between grade 1 and grade 4, the children will learn the basic alphabets, the part of speech, and learn to write small essays. See, like, these are some of the examples of the essays. This amount of learning, they will be able to write these simple sentences by the end of grade 4 in all the 3 languages, not just in English, but in Hindi and Kannada. All of them, all the parts of speech are done, and all 3 of them are compulsory. Environmental sciences has both science and social studies, a lot of basic concepts that the children need to learn, like air, water, light, sound, space, different kinds of plants, different kinds of landforms, our country. And again, like I said earlier, a lot of it is done through interdisciplinary classes, which is, there's a lot of science, like, here they're doing leaf veneation. You're learning about the different types of veneation in leaves in a t-shirt painting activity, or a leaf painting activity, or through gardening and field trips. You're checking out different kinds of soil. Each child brought soil from home, and then they're learning about soil by looking at it through a magnifying glass. This learning phases of the moon using the Oreo biscuits. So you have a lot of fun activities. That's the playway methodology, and through the playway methodology, they are learning different kinds of skills. Now, core concepts of maths, a lot of, like, just basically all the 3, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all of this is taught up to 4th grade. And a lot of it is augmented with 2 sessions of math lab. So children do 2 sessions of math lab in school. We use a particular platform which is called MindSpark, which is created by Educational Initiatives, which the teacher kind of programs it to be what are the subjects that she is teaching. So through those games and multimedia, the children are able to learn. Over and above all these, we also use abacus. We use a lot of Jodo Gyan, different kinds of material, Montessori material, and of course a lot of artwork through which the children learn the basic concepts of math. So it gives them a lot of opportunities, different ways. Each child learns in a different way, but our idea is to make it as fun as possible. At the same time, make sure that their basics are very much in place. Now, assessment evaluation in grade 1 to 4, we do not have very strong, and we are looking at their critical skills. We want to kind of monitor how their progress is, whether they're understanding or not. But we do not have very formal assessments, which means every week we do have an internal assessment. It'll be on a particular subject. If your child comes back with a revision text notebook for a particular subject, you could realize that probably the next day they will have an assessment regarding that. However, there are no formal assessments. There are only two main assessments, summative assessments, which are conducted as half-yearly exams. One is in September and the other one is in the end of the year, which is March. So the internal assessments include a lot of homework, project work, presentations, mainly to look at the different. Now, there are external assessments that are taking place. For example, we do have Olympiads, we have the asset assessments. So asset is something that looks at, say, a child, what do you breathe in? We say, so the options will be carbon dioxide or oxygen or air. So the correct answer is air. We do not breathe in only oxygen. We breathe in air and the body absorbs the oxygen. So those, very small, simple things, whether they understood the concepts or not, is checked by the asset. So asset is compulsory for all children. Olympiads, which is conducted by SOF World, is optional for the children of primary school. Now, core scholastics, when it comes right down to it, again, like I said, there's a lot of core scholastics. Out of 8 classes every day, 4 classes the children spend in co-curricular and core scholastic activities in the primary school. So literally half their day is a lot of fun activities. And again, fun activities doesn't mean they are learning. They're not learning. So in an art and craft, they would be learning something, somewhere it is tied up to the air lesson. For example, when they make windmills, they are studying the air subject. Or, when they are looking at life forms, there could be art class where they are creating masks and they are looking at the different kind of, special parts that the animals have when they are, or mutations that they have to adapt to their atmosphere. So you create a mask and then that kind of helps them understand it better. So we have art class, visual art class, as well as art craft class. And in performing arts, we have dance, music, and theater. So theater is primarily used for communication skills, public speaking, expression, etc. And in music, you're introduced to both Indian and Western choirs. And normally by the end of 4th grade, we do have a solid choir in place, which sings in all 3 languages, English, and then sometimes even probably all the other Indian languages, but primarily in English, Hindi, and Kannada. And in dance, of course, you do have both Indian and Western dance forms, which the children explore. Physical education, we are not, but between grade 1 and 4, we do not really make them play football or basketball or volleyball or any of those games. Rather, there is a lot of PT. There is one session of PT every week where they do learn warm-up exercises, etc. And these are also done in the assembly. Whenever they do, each section of the school has assembly on different days. During the assembly, or even if they are in their class, they do have a bit of warm-up session, brain yoga, super brain yoga, and things like that early in the morning before they start their day. Now, in sports, like I said, before they are 6 years old, children do not understand the idea of a team game. They do not understand collaboration. Everyone wants to be like batting, or everybody wants the ball. So this is the first time we kind of teach them a lot of simple games like, running, catching, and langdi, or 7 stones and things like that, or even kabaddi and kho-kho, where someone can be a den and someone can be out and things like that, so that they understand that in a game, sometimes you get to be a leader, sometimes you don't get to be a leader. Along with that, they learn the simple basics like throwing, kicking, dribbling, etc. And of course, there's a lot of yoga that has been, and yoga asanas, which are some very strictly kind of taught to them in the primary school. So just to ensure that flexibility and balance is there. Again, as warm-up exercises early in the morning, all children do super brain yoga, which is basically utak baitak, we're holding your ears. So they do that every morning before the school starts. Now, MindSpark is another course scholastic, like we did talk about it. There is a math lab. This is how the math lab and the computer lab looks in our school. 2 sessions of math lab happens in school, and the children do 2 more sessions at home where they can log into the platform and do. It is programmed by the teacher to augment whatever she's being teaching in class. So if she's teaching addition or she's teaching numbers, they will be having a similar program which is there on MindSpark. And it allows the teacher to kind of, differentiate. Some child who needs to be challenged, who knows all the concepts, will be given, as they finish one particular 10 questions, they get a sparky, they go to the next level. So, the child is able to be challenged further and further. Whereas a child doesn't get it, for example, in the 10 questions, say about less than 6 questions, if the child gets less than 6 questions right, then they do not get a sparky, which means they keep putting them on a tutorial. So the child keeps doing the tutorial. So certain children are in a particular module for longer, and certain children who need challenge go to the next better model. So the child in the same class can be better equipped in or challenged further in the same concepts that are being taught based on their capability to learn a particular concept. Similarly, with computers, they start off with about paint and logo, and then they go on to Word, PPT, Excel by the time they finish 5th grade. So all the basics that they need to learn in computers is already taught in primary school. After 5th grade, they would start learning programming skills. Now, we are very sure about the Dean's core values. So the class focuses a lot on values. So the assemblies do have, like, you have gratitude, you have team player, you have discipline, and the teacher tells them stories about it. They have themes and assemblies about it. Like this particular year's theme is Ubuntu. So the children learn that, you cannot be a single person in the society. You need to do and work with the society to make sure that we all have a better life. So every year there's a particular theme, and along with that theme, there are stories and assemblies and rest of it. Along with that, of course, you do have these special prizes that go for best dressed or best notebook or very bright ideas in class or full attendance, just to make sure that the children kind of get motivated to do better in class. Now, over and above that, sometimes they are allowed to create their own rules. See, here are some examples of playground rules that children came up with by themselves. So don't fight, please share, be safe, move one by one, no throwing sand. So, it's very sweet. They put this up in the classroom, and then so that they are self-motivated. They are rules that they created for themselves. Now, over and above that, we do have a lot of life skills that children learn. Here, they're learning how to fold a t-shirt. So sometimes in, say, Dashera holidays or Diwali holidays, they are given homework like that. They need to fold up all, clean up their entire cupboard, fold up their clothes and take a picture and show it to the teacher. So you do have things like folding clothes, cleanliness, gardening, home management as part of the life skill class that is taught in school, in primary school. Over and above that, we do have an inquiry and quiz, a lot of group activities and quiz activities regarding is also conducted in as co-scholastic in school. Now, over and above that, this is the time when we are trying to build a school community. Now, bringing up the children, they spend 8 hours a day in school with us, but it is a collaborative effort between parents and the family along with the school to bring up that child. In today's world is a volatile world, which is a difficult time for children. And so it's a joint effort. We want to get to know you better. So we do have a lot of activities where we bring in parents, moms and dads into school, where for a small activity, for about a 1-hour activity, simply so that you get to meet the teachers, you get to sit in your child's classroom, you get to know us better, and we also get to know you better, so that we have that, face to the name. And it's in primary school, we are introducing you to many years of association with Deens. So that is the reason why there is more interaction in the primary years as compared to the senior years. Now, children also have a lot of competitions within school and outside. So you have inter-class recitation competitions, show and tell competitions, fancy dress competitions, and things like that, as well as external competitions. So they do go for a lot of inter-school competitions as well, all the way from 1st grade onwards. In fact, from kindergarten onwards. Now, from primary school onwards, we also, for at least about in a year, we like them to go for 3 or 4 field trips. All of this is included in the fees. So it's not at an extra cost unless you're going out of town, like it's a the cost is beyond 100 rupees per child, then we do charge the parents. But most of the time, they do have field trips within Bangalore where they are able to go, and the concepts which they are learning in class, they are able, like this is sound, how sound travels faster in solids as compared to air and water. So, you went to the sound museum, the children understood that concept so well because they went to a sound museum. Or a walk to the neighborhood parks in Whitefield, where you from small worms to birds to different kinds of plants and trees, they are able to look at and understand rather than somebody showing it as a PPT or a picture in the textbook. When they see it in the real world, they understand it better. We also have a lot of guest lectures, so our parents themselves volunteer, and we do have dentists, we have people from different parts like doctors, dentists, even people like yoga teachers, music teachers, who come back and have guest lectures in school just to give a child an idea of something. Like last time there was a gamer who came and told them how they need to learn physics, biology, maths to even create a game in to create a game model. So he understood that how much you need to be learning in school very seriously, even if you want to become somebody who creates games in school. So at these impressionable minds, they get very affected when someone comes from outside and teaches them things like that. Now, let me go from primary school to middle school. Now, middle school is when the children are transitioning physically, mentally, socially, intellectually. This is the time when puberty hits them, 11 years to 14 years. There's a lot of support that they need at this time, but at the same time, this is the time when the parents and their teachers are no longer the gods and goddesses who they can respect and take care of, and or who they will confide in. This is a time when their friends and their bonds with their friendships, their classmates, their peer groups becomes very much stronger and more influence on what they are. So they become very, very self-conscious of themselves. They understand their personality strengths. And so the whole school idea is to give them those particular groups. We give them a choice of working on particular groups together, and to kind of keep them in that nice, comfortable emotional space, because they are going through a tough time emotionally and physically and hormonally in different ways. Yeah. So the core subjects in middle school is again English as the first language. However, the combinations start changing a little bit. So in grade 1 to 4, like I said, English, Hindi, Kannada would be compulsory. So if you took Kannada first language, then you would learn elective Hindi. If you have Hindi as the first language, then you will still learn Kannada as the second language. However, in grade 5, in case we have a child coming from abroad or some child coming from a different state, if they do not want to take Hindi as a second language, you do have an option of learning French or Urdu or Sanskrit, which starts in the 5th grade. Now, however, even if you took French as a second language or you took Sanskrit as second language, the compulsory Kannada continues all the way up to grade 8. So the languages would be these are the only combinations they have, which means somebody cannot come and say, I will learn French and Hindi, I will not learn Kannada. That is something that is not allowed in our state. So it would be, the second language would continue to be Kadya Kannada. Only if you took Kannada, you need to compulsorily learn Hindi. But otherwise, all other subjects, if you take the second language as French, or which is introduced in 5th grade, you will still have the third language as Kannada. Now, middle school academics is a lot about teamwork. So there's a lot of team activities. Children get together, they put in collaborative teams. So they, where they are learning to work with their own team to create, you can see the models and the papers of them. We no longer allow them to go home and get their parents to make their models. They very much make the models in school. They bring things from home. They ask their parents for help and they create it. But at the same time, most of the work is done by the child themselves. Now, in middle school, the science is divided as physics, chemistry, and physics. And in social studies, then you have social studies, which is further divided. So EVS splits into science and social studies, and and science further gets divided, and social studies further gets divided into geography and history. And mathematics kind of remains the same. You do have your math lab all the way up to 8th grade, and you have the Olympiads, which are still, kind of becoming more meaningful and challenging as compared to primary school, when it is just fun activity. In the middle school, the Olympiads become actually meaningful and challenging for the children. So again, we are still doing that learning by doing a lot of project-based learning, lot of creativity, which is encouraged in school. Now we do have the assessments which start in grade 5. Now in grade 5, we do have two unit tests of formative assessments and 2 summative assessments. So a lot of things people ask, oh, my child is on ICSE. How is ICSE different from CBSE? How CBSE is different from IB? SST, things like that. So what I would like to say is, normally in all these different kinds of curriculum, they give you a framework. Say by so and so grade, the child needs to know the different kinds of water, different states of water, or the child needs to know multiplication, division by certain particular age. That is the kind of framework that each curriculum gives. Over and above that, it tells them how we conduct the assessment. So if CBSE school like ours is very much into project work and a lot of hands-on learning, whereas you could have a school which is just following NCERT textbooks. So it's basically just a framework, saying how you're going to teach that particular concept is not what they are concerned about. They are saying by so and so time, the child should know so and so stuff, and you will have you will need to do 2 performative assessments and 2 summative assessments, and it will be something called a CCA, which is like the cumulative combined assessment. So basically the assessments cascade and at an increasing level. So the assessment patterns are governed by the board that we are tying up to, which again CBSE is going through a lot of changes because of NEP. Over and above the school assessments, you do have Olympiads and ESSET as well in the middle school. Now, core scholastics, here from the primary school to the middle school, the children start, kind of choosing. So you say, I'm not very much interested in dance anymore. So sports is compulsory, but they would like to, sometimes children kind of give up on, say, I don't want to continue classical music, I do not want to continue art and craft. So they get a choice of dropping 2 subjects and picking up only 2 subjects. Now sports becomes very, very interesting in 5th grade onwards, where the children are taught the basics of every sport. So in the class, you will be taught, there's a season where you are doing, all the children are learning cricket, all the children are learning basketball. So they all given an opportunity to learn a particular basics of a particular sport, and then based on their proficiency in 6th or 7th grade, they are chosen for the under 14 inter-school competitions. Yoga is still compulsory. So this is some of the pictures of this. Dance again becomes more serious. So when you've chosen, if a child has chosen dance as one of their co-curricular activities, they learn specific styles. So they could have they can learn a whole number based on Kathak, or based on Bharatanatyam, or based on hip hop. So different styles are specifically taught. And of course, they learn a lot in theater, which they do during the assemblies. It is showcased in the assembly. It is showcased for parents to see. And theater sessions are mainly for reflections and role play. We have a very nice choir which starts in the middle school, and the children take it very seriously. Children who learn how to play a particular instrument get pulled into the choir, where they are able to play a guitar or play the flute or play the drums for the choir which is having a performance. And these performances are done in public spaces and in inter-school competitions as well. Life skills and character building is still a very big part of the school. So normally in middle school, they learn how to sew a little bit. So they learn how to sew their buttons onto their shirts, to learn how to hem the borders. So you normally ask them to bring handkerchiefs, or say old shirts or so, to teach them that. Over and above that, they learn table etiquette. They learn a bit of cooking, how to change a light bulb, how to do composting, so again, which is a big part. And see, it's not just the teachers. So here the children are actually sitting down with the housekeeping staff and learning how to put rangoli. So you have different parts where you're teaching them that everyone has something to teach them. So, and then of course you have a lot of society building, activities where they're talking about, not carrying a plastic bag and stuff like that. From 5th grade, 4th grade onwards, in fact, we have compulsory hikes. So every year they have 2 hikes. It will be a lot of rock climbing or into one of the hilly areas nearby, where they will probably go out early in the morning on a Saturday, leave the school at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they are back home, back to school by about 11:30, 12. And it will be in the nearby hills that the school takes them there and brings them back. This normally at a slightly additional cost, say 100 rupees, 150, simply to get them breakfast or first aid along the way. And they are done with professionals who are part of that field. It helps not just in stamina and strength and awareness, but also leadership qualities. Over and above that, they do have community outreach programs. This is one of the programs where they go to the Gurudwara, work in the langar, have a meal in the langar. So it kind of helps them understand that spirituality and sustainability as well. Another huge big thing which is very popular in school today is the bagless day. And the bagless day in our school has helped the children learn far beyond the curriculum. Simple things like fire drills and, this is a CPR training, first aid, first response training, which again, our PT teachers are certified first response people. So they teach the children from a young age on how first aid can be given if a child is fainting, if a child is fallen down, if they've had a fracture, how would you hold them, how do you touch? So these things are taught. Here they've made a bag, non-stitch bag out of their old t-shirts. Some of our senior students have gone to teach skills to our junior students. This is our school carpenter who taught them how to make a particular keychain as part of woodwork. So they learned woodwork, they learned gardening from the gardener. They learned a lot of, endemic art and craft like alpana or rangoli or things which are part of our culture but is not tied up to our curriculum as yet. Our bagless days are allowing them to explore a lot of things which are not part of their curriculum. Bagless days are part of our 2 bagless days from 1st grade all the way up to 10th grade in a year. Grade 7 also brings out their own, they learn blogging in grade 7. So the children write about the events of that particular school and bring out a newsletter every year, month. And you do have, so that all the children of grade 7 are covered. So about 6 or 8 children per week, per month, and all the 5 sections, all the children are covered where they contribute compulsorily to the genealogue or the monthly newsletter. Now in grade 8, their children have a choice to join the Interact Club, which is part of Rotary International, and they engaged in a lot of social service activities which are conducted or spearheaded by the Rotary International Club of in Whitefield. Now, conforming years, senior school, the children are young adults by that time. They do have a lot of maturity. They know what they like. I like science as a subject. I like humanities as a subject. I like social studies. I like English. So they have specific, they kind of know what they are kind of doing in the future. They have, we want to give them life experiences and help them in, we are also grooming them to send them away from school by that time. We are, they have a choice to leave at 10th grade or after 12th grade. So we do a lot of the entire curriculum is to make sure that we are fine-tuning them in the last few years in school. Now, the core subjects in senior school is, again, we are only going to be till then, we are not following the NCERT subjects. We are still using our own textbooks or our own different kinds of activities to kind of reach the CBSE goals. But in 9th and 10th, we move completely to the preparation for the CBSE board. Now, NEP says CBSE board may not be there in in 9th and 10th from next year, but that's not the case. You will have, even if that is the case, you will still be preparing them for leaving school. So we in the last few years, we use only NCERT textbooks, and the priority is not so much on activities and more on chosen fields for their portfolio building. Now, languages, that is the time when they can give up on the compulsory Kannada only in 9th grade. So they have only their first language and their chosen second language, which could be Hindi, Kannada, French, or Sanskrit. So they don't have the third language which are there. So it's only 2 languages in 9th and 10th as of now. The NEP is pushing for Kannada to continue till 10th grade, but because it's a disadvantage for children who are getting transferred at a later stage in school, they are struggling through a new language at that time, is a little tough for them. So we are not having compulsory Kannada in 9th and 10th. It's a choice only. Science is divided into physics, chemistry, biology. So you do have a lot of, they do a lot of lab activities at that time. So you'll have the lab work as well. Same thing with social studies. There's a lot of lab activities in the 9th and 10th, which are submitted as part of the board exam. We no longer have the math lab for 9th and 10th standard. You are more kind of pushing them to prepare for, say, NTSE exams, or getting them ready for the 11th and 12th in case the children want to pursue mathematics as a subject. So there's a lot of preparation for 11th standard, which happens from 9th standard. So 9th standard mathematics is normally more tough than 10th standard or 11th for that matter. Co-scholastics, the children choose. So it becomes very serious in 9th and 10th. So they are part of a team, school team. We have a school team 1 and we have a school team 2 for basketball, football, and cricket. And there's a lot of inter-school competitions. We do have state champions as well for this particular, in the higher grades, where it's taken seriously. Even if it's a sport, it's taken far more seriously than it's in middle school or primary school. We do have compulsory career counseling as well. Again, it's a choice for the parents to take it how further they want to. But the school does have a tie-up with Lodestar, which conducts sessions for all the D9s to help them choose or gives them a choice to undertake psychometric tests to realize what they can explore their future in. There's a lot of workshops inside school, design thinking, AI projects. We have even the alumni coming and making presentations to them at this time. So in that school, just so that they can make better, more informed ideas of what they want to do in the future. We do have a student counselor who spends time with a lot of the senior students, mainly to help them in, again, self-esteem takes a big beating at this age. So keep their self-esteem motivated, help them in conflict management, anxiety, time management, and stuff like that. We do have a lot of push on Seva, which is compulsory social service, because we want them to understand that they are part of a big society and they need to be, it's not only studies, that they need to be able to contribute to the society as well. And of course, and that kind of portfolio is important, especially today in universities inside India and universities abroad. They do look at children contributing to society over and above their regular studies. It's not just studies that they're looking at. The student council is senior students are part of a student council, which helps take care of the school and take care of the events in school. So they are chosen by secret ballot through a campaign. The senior students also bring out an annual magazine, Triptys Clio. We have a few students in senior school where they actually have their own published books, so short stories books, or their own personal books that they have brought out. The children do conduct fairs. So we had a mental health fair, which was primarily done by the 11th and 12th students of psychology, but again, assisted by the 9th and 10th standard students as well. Similarly, for science day and other activities, the children do participate. Our senior students conduct their own. We have a lot of events which the school conducts. We have the design hackathon. We have Folks Fiesta, which is an inter-school competition. We have the D-MUN, so the Deens Academy MUN, which is again conducted by the school as a host for other schools. This gives them that global perspective, gives them those entrepreneurial skills. We have the National Science Day again, which we do in February. So a lot of their skills in preparing for, from sponsorships to food stalls to mic and venues. So it gives them that entrepreneurial skills of how to manage it, how to manage registrations, how to do communication, Instagram posts, all those kinds of things. So it's conducted primarily by the students in school and mentored by their teachers. The students also go to other school competitions. So it's encouraged a lot of inter-school competitions in the senior school. Now, transport services are there for all students in our school for 25-kilometer radius. Normally, the routes are finalized by March. And we are looking at a 40-minute travel for all children, no matter where they are, whether you're staying in Sarjapur or staying in Budigeri or you're staying in C.V. Raman Nagar, all the way coming back to Whitefield. The routes are made in such a way that 40-45 minutes is what it should be. So if you're further away, you may have lesser stops. If you're closer by, you'll have more stops. Sometimes certain buildings like Brigade Metropolis or PSN or PLH, they have their own one single bus which fills up only from students from that particular community. Now, it is handled centrally. The transport services are provided by the school. They are not an external agency. And so the buses are our own and the staff are again our own. They undertake a lot of training programs, both with the police and with outside CPR training, discipline training, different kinds of things, which are all part to ensure that the child travels safely to school. The transport services are not part of the school fees. They are paid externally based on the distance that they have from school. Again, infrastructure, like I said, we actually invest a lot in infrastructure, not just in infrastructure, smart boards. Every classroom has a smart board, whether even if you're in a dance class or an art class, there are smart boards for you there. And of course, our teachers, our staff, our drivers, our housekeeping staff, everyone undergoes a lot of training programs throughout the year to make sure that we are in touch with whatever's latest in the market. In addition to regular, both academically, safety-related programs, everything they undergo. Our CBSE results are something that we are extremely proud of. The CBSE results all the time we are a 16-year-old school. We have had CBSE from 10th grade for about 14 years now. And it's always been, and it's increasing. So more than 50% of the class used to be more than 90%. Now, if you see, we are like 70-80% of our classes more than 90%. So we are known for the kind of results our children bring in. Even if they are bringing in this, more than 60-70% of their class getting 90% is done along with them having a lot of fun. Like I've made this presentation for the last 1 hour to tell you how much of fun they have in school while they are studying. It's not all studies. There's a lot of studies that happen, but at the same time, there's a lot of activities. And their childhood is not going to come back. They are going to have a more stressful, as they grow older, it's going to be tougher and tougher for them with the competition. But so that we make their childhood as fun as possible. These results are also there on the website for you to look at any point of time. So now we're going through the most crucial part, which is the admission processes. So again, our school primarily has a lot of students that come in from kindergarten and go on all the way to 12th grade. So most of our admissions happen, one in toddler section, a little bit in playgroup, a lot of it again in first grade. So in first grade, we have 40 seats, 30-40 seats that open up in first grade. And the rest of the grades just remain at 5 or 6 every year. So all other grades add only 5 or 6 numbers because those 5-6 numbers have left. So they are only replacement seats, which means our own parents have been there with us for many, many years, which is the reason why we don't have too many admissions that take place. So the admissions are very, very limited. Because of that, we don't have an applications. Like, we were flagged off a few years ago saying that the number of applications we have is, less than 10% of the number of less than 10% of applications are becoming admissions, which means A lot of schools who are selling their application forms. For us, it's free, of course, but we got flagged off saying it's very different, which is the reason why we have an inquiry form or a waitlist form, which is a Google form. And only when the seats become available, we are giving you application forms. Otherwise, we are not. Another reason is very often the inquiry forms are like fastest finger first. You pressed it and you answer those 5 questions and put in. But for our kindergarten ones, which are going on right now, between 9 and 9:1, some parent has written back to us, why is I have filled up my form on 9:1, why is my waitlist number 150? Now there is a timestamp to show that it becomes, we are filling up, thankfully, touch wood, Deens is filling up the seats that fast, which is the reason why we've kept the inquiry form very, very simple. In case the seats open up, we will send you the application form and get it processed. Now, these inquiry forms for the Whitefield campus, grade 1 to 12, 10 will be available from 6th December at 9 a.m. on the website. Now, let me show you. This is the subject. This is, if you go to Deens Academy /admissions on the website, you will find this last one, which is the inquiry forms for grade 1 to 9. If you click here, it will go on to the inquiry form list. So you basically just need to click there. Click here, you click on that, it will only open again. It's not available now. It will open only on December 6th at 9 a.m. This is how the inquiry form page looks. Now you can actually look at the page also if you click somewhere else where it is available today. If you look at it today, we have the Gunjur forms, which are the Ramgundanali forms that are open as on today. But on this waitlist page, you will have separate grades. Each campus and each grade is separately mentioned there. So if you want to apply for both Whitefield and Gunjur, you need to apply separately. The school is not going to choose for you. You are choosing for yourself which campus you want to apply for and which grade you need to apply for. So you go to the Deens Academy Whitefield campus. This opens only on 6th December at 9 a.m. You click on it. You go to the grade that you want to click on. You click on that grade and the Google form will open. Let me show you the Google form. This is how the Google form looks. It's exactly 6 questions. Your email ID, your name of your child, the age of your child. Now, this is a very compulsory question. It is the first field of our application form. If your child does not meet the age criteria, you will not be able to fill up the form. This is, right now we have kind of streamlined it up to 2nd grade. So up to 2nd grade, we'll still go till 7th grade, 7 years old by 1st of June. And beyond that, again, we are somewhere trying to keep that particular age criteria. But age criteria is the first field up to second grade. Don't allow anyone. And then you have the name of the parent, the residential address, simple, a name of a building and just to make sure that our transport is coming to that area. And remarks, again, say, for example, right now you're staying in Koramangala, you're going to shift to Whitefield area. You can mention we are moving to Whitefield at the particular time. And then in remarks, you can mention that I, say my child is maybe a few days less than the age which is mentioned in the school. So please consider, we can only do up to say 10th of June. I can't allow any more people inside because we've already completed 1 hour of the presentation. Yeah, okay. Then so any of those kinds of remarks can be mentioned there, saying, or if you have a sibling, if you have also applied for a child in kindergarten and you would want sibling preference, so we will, if one child gets done, we are able to kind of trace and see if that other child is also there. So you can mention there that there's a sibling in case you have a sibling. I would request you to wait for this. These are very crucial information that I am sharing. Please do not chat at this time. Please wait for this 5 minutes presentation to finish and then you can ask your questions on chat. This is how the application form does. So when there is a seat that is available, we will send you the application form. This is how this application form looks. Sibling forms are done with, so you won't have sibling forms anymore. But like I said, the date of birth is the first field of our application form. If your child doesn't meet the age criteria, you will not be able to fill up the form. You need to say which is the grade your child is seeking admission in, and you continue. These are some of the compulsory fields that you need to fill in. the date of birth of the child, mother tongue, nationality, religion. All these are not something that the school needs, but something that we need to submit to the state board. You would need to upload photographs of the student and both the parents. So each of them will have an individual photograph. It need not be a passport size photograph, but at the same time, we need to see your face very clearly. It cannot be like someone is walking very far away on the beach and that is like the mother of the child or the child. That cannot be the case. Or some wedding photograph. No, we would want a clear photograph of the face. These are what will go into the student records, into the ID cards and stuff like that. So somewhere where the face is very, very clear and how it looks today. That is, 9th grade child cannot look like a 4th grade child, so it needs to be how your child looks today. You can actually take a photograph and upload from the phone. This application form can be filled from the phone itself. Now, Aadhaar card, again, in the long run, it will become compulsory. You would need to have the Aadhaar card details because the student ID, there's something called a STS number, it's student enrollment number, the STS, which is connected to the Aadhaar card. So this is something that if your child is, say, in 8th grade or 7th grade is coming from another school, 1st grade may not be the case, but it will be there tied up to your particular school you're coming from from 2nd grade onwards, where the previous school's DICE code will be already there and the STS number, which will continue even if you shift schools. The child's STS number more or less remains the same and it is tied up to their Aadhaar card. You have the parents' details. Similarly, for the father or mother, you can choose and the address that you come from, and then you need to upload these documents: birth certificate, latest progress card if it is not for 1st grade, this is only for higher grades, and the transfer certificate if you have it already, or if you don't have it, you can do it at a later stage. So these two are kind of compulsory in the first few grades. You can preview an application and you can submit it. Now, when you submit an application form, you will get an email like this, which will say, we have received a new application form with the particular reference number. It will say, thank you for applying to Deens Academy and please note your application number and we will get back to you. So this kind of detail you will get to say, if you know, for you to know that you have filled up the form. Somebody says, I filled up an inquiry form. No, this is the application form for writing an exam and getting admission. You need to fill the application form. The application form will give you an application reference number. The waitlist also gives you a waitlist number, by the way. So the steps of assessment: once the application form is filled up, we will call you for an assessment, normally in the weekend. It can be conducted offline or online. Online, I do only if in case some child is from outside Bangalore, or like during the pandemic, we would do it online, but mostly we prefer them to come to school for an assessment. Based on the assessment results, there's an interview with the principal. The admission offer is based on the interaction with the principal and the assessment results. Based on that, once we send you the admission offer, within a week's time, you would need to pay the fees and you need to submit the declaration form. And based on, again, within 10 days of that, a student ID is created, which finishes the admission process. The fee structure is already published on the website. This fee structure is inclusive of books, uniforms, all the field trips, all the activities that we have explained during this presentation. All of it is included. What is not included is transportation, for canteen services, which I did not mention earlier. So the canteen services are not included in this fee structure, or any other like daycare, things like that. Certain things are not done, but 90% of what you need, that is 2 sets of uniforms and books and stationery, and most of the field trips are all part of this fee structure. Over and above this, there is an additional 25,000 to be paid, which is a one-time processing fee, which goes to the admissions department. There is no fees to be paid before the your admission is done. So all till the admission time, it's all free of cost. My name is Hamsini Murthy. I am supported by my team, which works out of the Gunjur campus, Shweta Bhargava and Surekha. Shweta is the one who mostly answers all your emails and your questions. Surekha is the one who normally answers your phone calls and helps you out with the, whenever the exams are conducted, she is the one who conducts the exams. We can contact the primary by the admissions at deensacademy.com. This is our favorite way of being contacted. If you contact us within 24 hours, normally we answer your queries. There is a phone number as well, just mainly will work in case there is an emergency. Thank you for your time. So you may raise your hands now and ask questions while I will be calling out your name for you to ask your questions. At the same time, Shweta will be answering you on chat. Chat on the side. Nityag.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. I had the question related to the age one, which got answered. So the age criteria is applicable only for the kids who are applying for grade 2, right? That's 7+ years as on June 1st.
Grade 1 and grade 2, correct.
Yeah. But beyond that age, so even if the kid is
somebody
not
is very
satisfying
young,
that age, that should be fine.
See, August, September, we look at, okay. But if I find a child who's November born, who's very young for the class, I would not.
Sorry, was this breaking?
Yeah, in case the age criteria is if the child is very young for the class, I would not take it. So up to about 2-3 months beyond second grade also, up to 2-3 months or so, we kind of adjust. Beyond that, we don't. So if a child is November born or like 11 months younger than the rest of them, we will not be considering them.
Ma'am, sorry, your voice got cut off. So you said like even after second grade, this is applicable?
It's not part of the application process, ma'am.
Okay, so you said like if they're very young, then probably you may not consider,
yes,
like
correct.
November or December.
When I meet the child, I know immediately when the baby is very young. For me, like because we've been part of the system for 15-16 years, when we meet the child, we realize some child is much younger for the class. No matter which grade it is, they suffer quite a bit. And as a class teacher, you realize when a child is much younger for the class, how they are struggling in 30 children is something which is very clear to us.
Right. Yeah. But you have some outline cutoff?
Outline cutoff would be about September. Yeah.
Okay. So one more question, ma'am. So you mentioned about the, under 14 team. So is there any team which the school represents under 13 or under 11?
Correct. Yeah, it depends. We have different competitions for different, mainly the teams that the school has within school registered teams. We have team 1, team 2 for under 14 and under 18, under 16, under 18. 3 of them are there. But depending on the competition, we rework the teams.
But isn't it, is there not a team for under 11 and all? Because you mentioned under 14 only. So only under 14 teams.
Yes, even in the presentation, I did say, normally till 4th or 5th grade, we don't even have team games. So most of the team games are focused on making sure that the child runs properly, the child dribbles properly. They learn to work on a team. So 11 is when they just about start learning team games.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for answering.
Radhika?
Hi, ma'am. I would like to know for grade 3, what all subjects would be there for assessment?
Oh, that's a very good question. So for all grades, the assessment is in English, maths, second language, and science, or EVS.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. And all
normally the questions are
all assessment would be on the same day.
Pardon?
The whole assessment will be done for all the subjects on same day. It's on the same day, right?
Correct. Yes, it will be 10-mark questions. That's it. So 4 subjects.
10 marks.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So normally most of primary school will be about an hour and a half, the papers. For senior schools, it goes little more than 1 hour. Yeah.
Okay. So how good are the chances of getting admission for grade 3 this year, for 24-25?
As of now, we don't have. The thing is that the school is full. Now is when the people start telling us about their transfers. We'll tell them that they are not continuing in school anymore. So we are not able to predict. That is the reason why we are taking a waitlist form. We are not able to predict where the seats are available. As of today, we only have grade 1 seats available. Rest of the grades, we will only be knowing as and when somebody drops out of school. This is the time when they normally drop out, which is the reason why we are taking a waitlist at this time. So I cannot predict, oh, at least 4-5 people will be leaving from 5th, 2nd grade. They do leave. 4-5 people do leave, but I cannot say for sure until it happens.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for your time.
Most welcome. RK2.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Thank you for the presentation. So I had a question regarding the Aadhaar card number. If we have not yet applied for the Aadhaar yet, like, we do not have a number yet. So in the application form, I mean, we can get it by the next session, but immediately, say by December or January, we may not have the Aadhaar number ready. So in
No,
that
doesn't
case, what do
matter.
we?
Doesn't matter. You can apply without it. It's just that
Okay.
when we create the admission form is normally given in June. Once the child is already in
Okay.
school, because you wouldn't have the TC and stuff like that before that, because you need to submit as part of the CBSE admission form, you would need to submit the last mark sheet, like final mark sheet of your school and things like that. So the admission form is created normally in the month of June, July for the CBSE admission form. At that time, by that time, you need to have your Aadhaar card in place. Until then, it is totally okay.
So for now, it will only be the inquiry form which will be valid. The actual application which you showed will be given only in June. Is that so?
No, ma'am. Right now, you're doing the inquiry form. When the
Right.
seat becomes available, we'll send you the
Okay.
application form. You fill up the application form, and based on that, we conduct the exam. And once the student ID is created, once the child is already in the class, then you will apply for your TC, isn't it?
Yeah, right. But then
So this
the
is-
application form had
You're having only
a
application
Aadhaar
form.
number.
Correct. Application form also asks for Aadhaar number. You don't need to fill it up.
Okay, okay.
For
Okay.
sure, you need only during admission form. The admission form I have not showed you till now. It is only once the child becomes a student, because obviously you're not going to be taking TC from your previous school until
Right.
this particular seat admission is completed.
Right. Right. Okay.
Right now you have an
And
inquiry form. Then you have, based on the availability of seats, you are sent an application form. The application form is processed. You've got the assessment. You've done student ID is created. Your child is already coming to school. You just before the child joins school, or within 1 month of the child joining school, we will be sending you the admission form, which is from the CBSE, which you need to fill up and give it for creating the registering them as part of the DICE code and the STS code.
okay. And ma'am, one question is, if the child is already in grade 1, so my child is studying in grade 1 in a Montessori school nearby. So yeah, he is actually December 17th born. So he will be, I mean, will he be eligible for grade? So as per your age criteria, he will be eligible only for grade 1. But if he has already done grade 1 in one school, and we are able to get the SATS number or what are the
Ma'am, we are
STS
not,
number
unless
and
you are
the
able to fill
TC
up
from
the,
that.
if child is not 7 years by June 1st,
So he
2024.
won't be eligible for grade 2. Just even if he
That's
has
right.
done grade 1, he will still have to repeat grade 1. He is not eligible for grade 2.
That's right.
Okay, okay. And ma'am,
It will be the
about
same, like even tomorrow you apply for grade 3, I will not take a November born child for grade 3. I will preferably want somebody who's less than September. For grade 1 and 2, I'm so particular about 1st June. For grade 3 onwards, maybe up to August, September also I'll take. But beyond that, I will not. It's very simple. When even a child hits puberty, say your 6th grade, 7th grade, you have emotional problems for children, which parents can't see. Half the child is grown up, half the class is grown up, half the class is not grown up. When a child is the youngest child in that class, the child suffers emotionally, which a parent is not
okay.
able to see. The school is a social place. It's a place where they have a lot of fun. They share tiffin boxes. They play pranks on the teachers, on each other. That is what the school is about. It's not about only learning something. So which is the reason why we have a particular age criteria, because physiologically the children need to be matching each other, or playing the same games, or having the same silly ideas in their head. That is what the school is about. which is why we are so particular about age criteria.
Okay. And ma'am, the last question is, what about annual days, sports days, and any other, like, do you have those?
All
So
of them
I
are
can
very
also
much
see.
part of it. Yes, annual days. We have a
Okay.
school day, which is which is done alternative years, and sports day for a particular section, which is done alternate years. But they do
Okay.
have, which is public, which is in public, which is a grand event, which is done alternate years. But otherwise, different sections of the school, 1 year they have a sports day and 1 year they have an annual day. Simply because 2 months of practice goes off for that. No matter where, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome. Kingston.
Thank
Hi,
you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you for your session. It was very informative. Just wanted to ask you one thing. From the process of inquiry form to application form, is it just based on first come, first serve basis, or is there anything
Yeah,
else to
correct.
take into
When
control?
you fill up an inquiry form, you get a waitlist number, which will give you an idea whether it's going to get processed or not. And
Okay.
normally like I said, about 6 to 10, up to, say, even if 20 waitlist, there is a possibility you'll get through. Beyond 20 waitlist, if you're a waitlist number beyond 20, only grade 1 has about 30 seats. So in grade 1, up to 40, 50 also, there is a chance that you will get processed. But all other grades, beyond 20 waitlist number, the likelihood of it getting processed is very less. Normally, knowing when they'll get processed, when parents say, when do you think it will get processed? Normally, by about January, end February, we will know if it's getting processed or not. Still, lot of transfers happen even in March, April. A lot of people get to know that they are transferring out only in March, April. So we can't really stop them. A big chunk of it gets done before the end of January, but there are a lot of people who get a lot of seats that get opened up only by the end of March as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. And just one more question. For grade 3, you mentioned about Olympiads. Is there other inter-school competitions held like
Very
spell
much,
bee?
yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Swimming, chess, all kinds of competitions. If you go to our Facebook pages, you'll find a lot of pictures of children's prizes and where all they went, the choir, where all the school choir went, where they went for dancing, where they went for recitation. So throughout the year, there are tons of inter-school competitions that they participate in.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Sarath?
Hi, ma'am. This is Sharat Vaishnavya. My children currently go to a school which is ICSE based. So we are seeking admission for CBSE. Do you think there will be any challenges for the kids?
No, like I said very clearly, we are the school, ICSE, CBSE, IB, they just give you a framework. Which grade, may I ask, your child is joining?
We have two kids. One is going to 3rd grade and another 7th grade.
Okay, so the 7th grade child will find a difference. The 3rd grade
Okay.
child will find 0 difference. Because by 7th grade, it is much higher in ICSE. Their textbook amount, it's slightly different. Like ICSE curriculum has a lot of content and lesser application based till about 8th grade. And as compared to CBSE, which is more application based and lesser content. So obviously the 7th grader will find it easier than find CBSE, much easier
Okay.
than ICSE. But otherwise, there's not any big difference.
Okay. So you would require an STS number you mentioned. So this will be
The school will give you, when you're leaving any ICSE school, the school will definitely give you an STS number. Certain schools don't have a DICE number because they are not registered as yet. Like a lot of alternative schools that we know in Bangalore, they don't have a DICE number. But both DICE and STS, 90% of the schools will be able to give you. When you are leaving that school, when you contact that school, they'll let you know.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, for the time being, that's all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Most welcome. Pooja? Miss.
Morning, ma'am. It was nice session. I have two daughters. I'm looking for admission in grade 1 and grade 4. So right now they are in international school because we are coming from Germany. So we couldn't get any CBSE school that time. So for grade 1, what will be the their syllabus, because Hindi is not in their curriculum right now.
No
Hindi
problem, ma'am.
science
We'll
for
introduce
Hindi.
them both Hindi and Kannada will be introduced to them fresh in grade 1. The problem will
Okay.
be for your grade 4 child. Your grade 4
No,
child.
actually, she is already doing Olympiad. She is doing fine in Olympiad, so I don't think so she will have any problem.
Ma'am,
Means I'm
Hindi and
teaching her.
Kannada
I'm
is,
teaching her CBSE.
yeah, so those will be still part, Hindi and Kannada will still be part of the assessment for grade 4. So
Yeah.
that's the way the issue is. Grade 1, you will not have any problem. It's very simple, regular. What happens in LKG or UKG is what we are checking.
Okay.
Middle sounds, middle letter sounds, and it's just matching. Literally,
Yeah.
it's 5 minutes. The assessment takes less than 5 minutes to complete. The children love doing that worksheet. You give them takadak, they'll finish, and then they have the interaction with the principal. So for the grade 1 baby, it's like super fast and super easy. Grade 4 baby will take
And
about
Hindi,
an hour to
ma'am,
finish the
Hindi.
paper.
Yeah,
Pardon?
Hindi syllabus for grade 1, ma'am. If she's
There's no, even if
writing.
it's just Akshar, ma'am. The child should know
Okay.
Akshar. We are not, again, as I said, it's not compulsory that the child knows. They are going to again get introduced to it in grade 1.
Oh, phew, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It will just be faster in grade, like for us in
Huh.
LKG, we learn Akshar. In UKG, they learn Vyanjan. And then in grade 1, it goes from Akshar, Vyanjan to 3-letter words,
Matra.
4-letter words in one, within the first term itself. So that is the only reason why,
Hmm.
it's little faster than it happens. Otherwise, in LKG, all of LKG, they learn only Akshar. So based on that,
Cool,
it
ma'am.
doesn't matter
Cool.
if they don't know. If they know, it's good. If they don't know, it doesn't matter. It's just 1 mark out of the entire 10 marks paper.
Cool, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Janardhan? Janardhan? Dhanraj, would you like to go?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello. Yes, madam. Janardhan is on.
Yes,
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Janardhan, please say.
Actually, madam, I have two daughters to join 4th and 6th. Actually, suppose we will get after quarry, these two can possible to get the admission, or once admission form came, once we received, then it is confirmed the seat, or
I didn't understand, sir.
no. Once we send a query, we fill the query, then we can get the inquiry form. Sorry, admission form.
Admission form is only, we don't give an admission form. So you're filling up the inquiry because we don't know how many seats are available. So based on the availability of seats, we will call first come, first serve. Say, like I'm telling you about what kindergarten we had last 3 days, we have filled up the kindergarten inquiry forms. In between 9 and 9-1, somebody wrote back to us, 9-1, why am I 150 wait list? That is how fast it gets filled up. So based on the waitlist number, from our side, we don't want to be unfair, and we don't know how else to deal with the kind of rush that we have. Whoever's the first 10, we normally just call them flat. If the seats are available, we call whoever's on the top list. If they unless the age is not matching or some issue like that, we don't call them. But whoever's the first few people, we call them we'll send them the application form. Your child fills up the application form, then they come for the assessment. Based on the assessment, the admission is processed, not based on the inquiry form.
Okay, then when this application process, when it will be start, madam? Suppose which month?
We don't know, sir.
No, because if further we cannot get the seat,
So
we have to go
what grade are you looking for?
third, 4th and 6th.
So we won't know until somebody leaves third grade for 4th grade, or someone leaves 5th grade for 6th grade. We don't know the seats are available or not. We are not adding new sections. So unless somebody leaves, I won't know. So by somewhere around January, February, we will give you an idea. Is that going to happen or not going to happen? But your application or waitlist will be live all the way up to April. We are going to keep that, and we'll keep going back. Even in April, somebody leaves, we will come back to you and ask you, do you want the seat or not? But by when somebody is going to leave third grade or someone is going to leave fifth grade, I don't know. So I cannot tell you by this time your admission will be done.
Okay, suppose this one once Whitefield is not available in Gunjur camp only, we have grade third to grade 9th or grade 7th.
Both the
Ramagundan
campuses have the
there is
same
no.
issues, sir. Both the campuses have
Okay.
same issues. In fact, year before last year, Whitefield had less seats. But the year before last, Whitefield had far more seats when the pandemic was on. Whitefield campus had more seats available than Gunjur because a lot of people were moving out of the city and moving into the village area. So we had a exodus from Whitefield moving towards Sarjapur. So the number of seats, there were no seats available in Gunjur campus and there were only seats available in Whitefield campus during the pandemic time. So it's not like you don't get in Whitefield, you'll get in Gunjur. That does not happen. You have to apply in the separate wait list for Gunjur, separate wait list for Whitefield. Wherever you get, we will try to process. If you are staying in an area, say like Mahadevpura, where traveling to Gunjur is going to take us more than 45 minutes, we won't process the seat. If you're staying in Krishnajapuram, if you're staying very close to the Whitefield.
We are looking Whitefield, preferring Whitefield campus because we are beside the school only we are living.
Correct. Then you have to apply for the Whitefield campus only. Do not apply for the Gunjur campus.
Okay. Then this Ramagundanhalli is there up to which grade, madam?
UKG.
UKG only. Okay. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you for it.
Okay. I'll go next. Then Raj here.
Yes, sir.
So, madam, I have two questions. One is for Gunjur campus. Is the date going to be the same for the inquiry opening?
Yes, sir. You can.
This December 6th, right? Same date.
No, December 7th. We moved
Ye-
the dates. Last
Okay.
year, for the kindergarten, we had an issue where the website crashed because of the amount of volume. So we
Okay.
have moved the date slightly. We have moved Gunjur to 7th and
Okay.
Whitefield to 6th December.
Okay. Thank you. And my another question is, so my daughter is looking for 7th grade admission. And the current school, she has Kannada as third language, and
Perfect.
they started Kannada only on grade 6. So the basic
No
Kannada they're learning. So
No problem, sir. That is all that you need to know.
okay, I'm more worried about the complexity because the other kids might be started from their first grade, right?
See, Kadya Kannada, we are just checking that the child knows something. See, again, we have that issue with even children who are coming from outside, out of town, say someone moving from Delhi or
Okay.
Kolkata or Bombay or from out of town, they all have issues with the Kadya Kannada, compulsory Kannada becomes difficult.
Okay.
So we are looking at basics, like suddenly in 4th, 5th grade or 7th grade, I cannot teach them from scratch. So if
Okay.
they know basic reading simple sentences, that also would be more than enough. We can manage with that.
Okay, great, thank you. And just one more thing, and for the entrance and all, no, part of curricular, is there any separate you have tie up with some other academy or anything to coach them for engineering or medicine?
For what, sir?
For entrance coaching?
Be only from 9th grade onwards, and that too only as of now for Gunjur campus we are introducing. From
Okay.
9th grade onwards, we are introducing integrated.
Okay. Okay.
But we don't have anything for Whitefield campus as yet.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ankush?
Hi, good morning, ma'am. Very nice presentation, very informative. I have a couple of questions. Most of the questions you have answered already. So one thing, admission form is only available. This inquiry form will be available on online, not the physical.
Not physical, only online.
Not physical,
Online.
online. Okay. And one more thing I would like to know that what is the frequency of the revisions? So whenever you taught your kids, like for a week, so what is the revision cycles? So sometimes
different for each grade, sir.
So I'm looking for third grade.
Correct. Yeah. So most of the revisions will happen just before the unit test. So if I
Just
have the
before
unit test, then there'll be a revision just before the unit test.
Okay.
Or before, yeah. So it'll be every alternate month, there will be 1 week of revisions.
Revisions. Okay. And as you said that, correct me if I misunderstood anything. So for class third only. So up to 20, we can have a better expectation to get the admission.
That's
Beyond
right.
20, it would be a bit difficult.
That's
But we get to know till March.
Yeah,
What is
normally
the
see by end of December or early January, either I or Shweta will normally write back to you saying, I don't think it's going to work out, so that you have an option of choosing another school.
Okay.
So yeah, normally by the end of this month or by early January, we more than 20 or certain grades look like they have more seats, or certain grades certain grades again we find it completely unlikely that you will get an admission. So when we feel it is going to be unlikely, we write to you very clearly that it's not going to be possible, that you should kind of look for an alternative school or try with us next year. We will mention it to you, so that again, we are not keeping you waiting. Unless we are hopeful from our side that it will get processed, we will not keep you waiting.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Vasudha?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I have a few questions. One is, the inquiry forms, because I'm looking for admission for two of my kids in grade 1 and grade 5. There'll be two inquiry forms for both of them that we need to fill up separate. That's
Correct.
right.
Fill up the grade 1 first and then the grade 5.
And so if in the first come, first serve, one of them, for let's say, luckily we get, he or she comes in the top 10 or top 20 and the other one doesn't. So
Then
how
we
do we
will,
go
but
about that?
ma'am, see, suppose for example, your grade 1 baby gets the admission, we will prioritize the application for grade 5. Similarly, the same way. That's why in the remarks we want you to add that there is another sibling.
Okay.
So that in case one baby gets in, then we will somewhere push the other baby's waitlist earlier.
Wonderful. That's nice. Other question I have is, you mentioned something about the daycare, So, in the fee structure you're mentioning, there'll be separate charges for daycare. So do you have this after school daycare or
Yeah, we
what
do
is it?
have after school daycare till 6 o'clock.
For which grades it starts from?
Starts from kindergarten all the way till 7th, 8th grade as well.
Oh, that's nice. And the third one is, for the assessment, if, they are eligible for the assessment, you mentioned for grade 5, it will be English, math, science, and Hindi, because, we are from Delhi.
It will be for both grades, ma'am. The same question, same English, math, science, and Hindi. Not so much for grade 1, but for grade 5, it will definitely be there.
So I've noticed that, there's a slight difference in the curriculum that I've noticed for at least grade 1. Can we know the topics that will be covered, for grade
very
5?
simple. It's again, like I mentioned, it's literally the end of LKG. We are not looking at very high level. We are looking at simple, a recognition of 3-letter words, 4-letter, and then opposites, rhyming words, simple addition, number names, things like that, and Akshar Vyanjan recognition in Hindi. Or EVS again, it's loads of math, like literally grade 1, it's 5 minutes the babies finish their worksheet. They love their worksheet. You give them the worksheet and they're done. And if you're in Delhi, I will do it online.
Okay, and the grade 5 topics, can we know? Because
Grade 5 will be same. It will be based on grade 3 end and beginning of grade 4.
So we wouldn't know the topics.
Ma'am, I
Especially
cannot
for
give you the
math.
topics. No. It is
What
generic.
what would be grammar and what would be,
Yeah, it
the
will be
reading?
very generic. It's exactly what you're learning. So it's very easy for high school. It's based on what Delhi is not going to be very different from what is being taught in Bangalore. Even if you're an
Okay.
alternate school or anything, it's literally it's based on end of grade 3. We're not even looking at grade 4, like half yearly of grade 4, even though we are going, more than half of grade 4 is over. So it'll be quite easy. We're just looking at the basic knowledge is there or not.
And grade 5 can also be online in that case, if you're
Yes,
based
very
out of-
much. Yes, very much.
Okay. And the third thing, I just wanted to ask was, the assessment date tentative, any month, once the application forms are filled up, do we have any,
You need to,
how
grade
much
1
is the
will
time
complete
frame
immediately,
normally?
ma'am. Grade 1 we will try and complete by mid-January. But other grades,
Okay.
it's only based on how many seats are available.
Okay, great. Thank you, ma'am. That helps. Yeah.
Navina Pai. Navina Pai, go ahead. I can't hear you, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, ma'am. Yes, I can.
Yeah, thank you for your patience, ma'am. And thank you so much for the wonderful session. Actually, my son is in fifth grade, and we are looking for sixth grade admission next academic year.
Correct.
And we'll be actually moving back from US after his fifth grade. I mean, so that he starts sixth grade in India right from the beginning, that is June.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I understand is I first fill the inquiry form, and if we get lucky, you'll be sending us the application form, and he'll be eligible for the assessment.
That's right, ma'am.
And the assessment will be mainly English, math, science, and since he'll be opting French as the second language, it will be French. Is that right?
That's right, ma'am.
Yeah. And the third language, again, as you said, for the one of the parent, that you'll be starting right from basics, like Kadaya Kannada, like the compulsory Kannada.
Dear
It will
Canada, see, like if your child is joining in fifth grade, the baby should know alphabets and or like simple sentence reading in Kadya Kannada. At least alphabets the child should know.
Yeah, he does know that, ma'am. Yeah. So it's
Correct.
mainly the basic Kannada. If he knows basic reading or basic the
That's
numbers and
what
all,
is
that should be still
correct.
fine.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. And the last question that I have, ma'am, like what do you generally expect from people like who move from outside country, like because when I inquired with the school here, they do not provide any transfer certificate as such,
They
but they
don't,
do
ma'am.
have,
It's basically your
yeah,
transcripts. That's it. Your final transcripts from there. The school normally either very often the school writes to us directly, or we just accept
okay.
whatever transcripts they are giving from there.
Yeah, that is one thing that the school said that if you need something specific, they definitely can mail you any
Correct. Yeah. They do
confirmation or
that.
something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And the last question I have is we are planning to move back nearly around March or April. So by that time, right, he'll just do
Their
report.
exam will not be over. Correct. Mm.
Yeah, right. So last report card he'll not be having. Like
That's
first
true.
two
Yeah.
he'll be having. Also, but like I can get the teachers' comments and all in the same transcript what he has, right? Like how many classes he has attended and all everything. That
That's
should be fine, or you need
that should be
anything
more than
specific.
enough, ma'am. That's more than enough.
And yeah, and so since we are out of country, you will have again he'll be have an option for online exam, right?
That's right. Correct.
Okay, I think yeah, you can answered everything. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your patience,
Most
ma'am.
welcome.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Umesh Vaswani. Ah, he went off. Okay. Tausif Khan, Mr. Khan.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. Thank you so much for your session and having so much patience there. We have received all questions from your team, proactive responses. So I don't want to take you much time. I have one question. My son is going to complete 6 year next month, 7 December. We are looking for grade 1 admission.
Yes, sir.
And for example, 6 December, 5th December, when form is open, we completed and we received some waiting list, 20, 30. I don't know what is the criteria for waiting list. Till how
First
many days we
come,
have to
first
get?
serve. It's how fast you fill it up. That's it.
Yeah, that I understood. We have to rush, we have to run fast, right? Everybody is excited and very curious to block our seats. But my major question, major concern is when till when we have to wait, because there is a
Like
deadline.
grade 1, we will try and complete it by the end of December, sir, because again, a lot of other schools will also be finishing it by that time. So we will do it at the earliest. We will try and finish it before the end of December.
Before the end of the day. And my son is he's in UKG. Next month he's going to learn Kannada alphabet, right? So there
That's okay.
shouldn't
It
be an
doesn't
issue.
matter. Doesn't matter. No.
Okay.
It's just one mark.
Because everybody want to block seat, right? So we wanted to know, is there luck? Is there not? That is the question. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. We received
Most
all.
welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mohit Gupta.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
My son is currently studying in grade 4 in CBSE school, and we are looking for admissions in grade 5 for next year. But the thing is that he'll be 9 years and 6 months old by 10th of June. So what I understand is that I believe he won't be eligible for your grade 5. Is that correct? Like,
I might
because
want
it's
to meet, like I said, I'll meet the baby, I'll meet the
okay.
child, and when they come for the assessment, and then I will be able to assess.
Yeah, I'm asking this because does he have a better chance if he fill for grade 4? Because if we do not mind repeating one
Ma'am,
session, so does
fill
he have
up
a
both.
better chance?
You fill up both, and let's see
Both, okay.
how it goes. And when I meet the child, if I find
Yeah.
that the child is too bright, or or is grown up enough, or depends on, again, it depends from child to child. I
Okay.
will
After
see
the
the child
assessment,
and
yeah.
then decide whether they are more comfortable with grade 5 or more comfortable with grade 4.
Okay, so we should fill up both the inquiry forms.
That's
We can
right.
fill it from separate email IDs. Is that just to
Yes,
be
of course.
faster?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shilpi?
Hi, ma'am. Very good morning to you. I have few questions. Okay, the first one is when does the new session commence from? Like, when does it start? Is it from April?
Starts from the first week of June, ma'am.
First week of June.
Or the last week of May. Depends. Whichever is a better Wednesday, we'll try and open at that time.
Okay, so ma'am, does it happen like this? Like, say, for example, the last session ends in, say, March or April. So do you start the new session after the summer vacation, or do you start it for a few days and then kids go for
No,
the
we
vacation?
do.
How
That
does
is
it?
only for grade 9 upwards. Grade
Okay.
9, 10, 11, and 12, they have
Hmm.
all the way till mid-April. All
Okay.
other grades end on March 31st
Okay.
and open back on the last Wednesday of May or the first Wednesday of June. Depends on whichever is more better.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice. Ma'am, my second question is I'm looking for my kids admission for grade 1. Okay. Currently, we are staying here in Jaipur. Next year, we are planning to move to ECC Road. Okay. So, of course, Deens is our first preference. Now, my concern is, my kid will be like 5 years, 8 months as on June. Okay. So, as you told to few parents previously that you'll be assessing the kid, and if you find him eligible or something like
No, but
that,
that is
you
not
can.
going to be the case for grade 1, ma'am. Won't be the case for grade 1. For grade 1, we will stick to the age criteria. Where there is no age criteria, that is grade 3 onwards, that we don't have the age criteria as the first column of the application form. I will check once the baby comes. But for grade 1, the first column, first entry of the application form is the age criteria. If your child does not meet the age criteria, we will not be able to process the admission.
So he'll be like 5 years, 8 months. So it doesn't make sense for us to fill the form. Like,
oh yes, your child needs to. You need to fill up only for UKG and not for grade 1.
Is it? Okay. Okay. Fine. That answers my question then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tarun?
Hi, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. Ma'am, I have my kid. Actually, my kid is going into.
Sorry, I lost.
IB board in Greenwoods High, and he is in currently 6th standard and looking to move to 7th standard. Yeah, and IB board only have limitations to go outside after 12th. So my question, ma'am, is he knows they don't know Kannada at all. Basically, they don't have Kannada, and they only have one class in a week for Kannada. So moving to 6th, 7th in Kannada, is it okay for them? To take third language, and obviously we will be putting him into tuitions so that they can cope up. But will there be any challenge?
There will be a challenge, yeah, correct, because that is something that we are not able to. The teachers assist the children on trying to help them cope, especially if they are coming from out of town or in your case from the IB syllabus, they help them out. But it would help if the child knows little bit, like you said, there is one Kannada class and at least if the child knows alphabets or is able to read simple sentences, that would really help.
I would be putting him for extra classes for sure so that he can cope up. Yeah. But
So we will be basing the admission more on how the child performs in mathematics, English, science,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
second
I mean,
language.
that yeah,
But
his
yeah,
second language is Hindi.
yeah,
In
correct.
current.
So we
Yeah,
will only
so
base the admission on that, but we will check what is the level of Kadya Kannada that the child knows, because otherwise the child really struggles. They do struggle because, yeah, and it's like, it's quite unreasonable. That's another thing which we feel bad about also in senior grades, when the children are need to concentrate on science and maths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They are struggling with a second language. Yeah. So that is an
And
unfortunate.
the other question I have, ma'am, is I think you have tried to answer for this, but like he is November 14 born.
Don't worry about it. Like I said, it's
2012.
up to second grade. We are very strict. Beyond that, I will look.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
I
meet the
know, but
baby and I will decide. Yeah.
so I should fill both 6th and 7th inquiry. Is it in that
You can
case?
fill up. You can fill up if your child is doing sixth right now.
He's
You can fill it up only for that.
7th
That's right.
inquiry. Okay, ma'am. Yeah. No, my thing was like, if we have to consider him for 6th, do I need to, because of his age criteria and Kannada criteria, do I need to fill 6th inquiry as well? Like a form for 6th grade inquiry. He's already in 6th basically. And I don't want to put him up stress that he's going to repeat the class.
No, don't
just
do
because
that.
he's moving.
Don't do that. That's what I
Yeah.
said. Don't do that. Let you apply for that. But when they come for the assessment, we'll realize if the baby is not fitting in, we will try and move them.
Yeah. Other than
Either
I
that
think
way.
other than Kannada, he will not have any issues. I'm pretty sure because he's
Yeah,
quite good in.
then don't apply for a lower grade.
Sure. Okay, ma'am. Thanks. So 6th December, the form will open, right? Ma'am?
That's right.
Looking for Whitefield campus. Yeah. Okay,
That's
ma'am.
right. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yeah. 1 minute. Somebody wanted a screenshot of the form. I've put the screenshot of the inquiry form. Sorry. Vaidehi?
Yeah, hi ma'am. So my son name is Ayush and he is into class 6 and he is into IB board actually. That's why we want to move into CBSE board or ICSE board. That's why we plan for the Deens school actually. So just I want to know, as you told in December, we are going to do the further process. So do we have to do any other activity now or only
Nothing
on
now, ma'am. It's just 1 week now. After 1 week, you'll have to fill up the inquiry form, ma'am. That's it.
Okay, and as you told, second language, Hindi, and third language, Kannada, like that, we have to decide which combination we are going to take. So, from basic,
What is
are
your
going
child doing right now, ma'am? What grade are you looking for?
for 7th grade. He will be going next year.
So what is the
Currently, he's
child
into class
studying currently? Yeah.
Hindi, and Kannada.
That's what, and then he'll continue with Hindi and Kannada. You don't need to change it in any way.
Okay. And my third question is for the after assessment and all, are we going to wait till March 31st for admission or you will be providing us in December or Jan itself?
Ma'am, it's dependent on vacancies from the previous grade. If someone leaves by December end or by January end, I come to know that somebody has left for from say 5th grade. Then 6th grade seat will be open. We don't know. See, in December, we write an email to all parents saying that if you're not continuing with the school, let us know before the end of January. So some people tell us right now we are not continuing next year. But depends on if we have vacancies like that, we will go to the wait list and process from the wait list. In case that is not available, then we will we'll wait till April also to process it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you. Bharat?
Hi, good morning, ma'am. Thank you for the session. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so my query is I'm looking for my son's admission for grade 1. Currently, he's in UKG. He meets the age criteria. That is not an issue. So only thing I want to know is the assessment will be comprising of both Hindi and Kannada, or like only Kannada. And just that
We
part
have
is
both Hindi and Kannada. It's the choice of the child. Some children who know they'll fill up everything, but it's just 1 mark. 1 mark where to figure out whether they know or don't know. If they don't know, also they are again taught in grade 1.
yeah. So
Not an
basically,
issue, but it's just for us to know whether the child knows or not.
okay. So currently he hasn't learned both the languages, so that's the reason why I just wanted to
Yeah, like I
clarify.
said, it's totally okay if they don't know. If they know even one, it's fine.
Okay,
Only
okay.
Akshar, yeah.
Okay, so thank you. My second question is like regarding the waitlist number. For each grade, there will be a separate waitlist number, or like it is
100%, yes. For every grade, it's a different. For every grade, every campus, there's a separate waitlist number.
so okay. So that number, from that number, we can get to know that whether we will get to know that whether we'll be getting that seats or not. So we'll get an idea. So that is what you
Correct.
were trying to say before.
That's right.
So okay, for
Correct.
grade, yeah. So one more thing in the chat, I got to see that from one of your colleagues, like for grade 1, the seats, current seat possibility is like 20 seats are available. So is it that correct information? Like around 20 seats are available
No,
as
of
of
course,
now?
like I said, my team is only 2 people. I showed you the picture also. There are only 2 of us.
Yeah.
So we there's no missing, like whatever, we are always on the same page. We work together. We have a same email ID. So whatever Shweta is saying, that is the, if she says there are 20-25 seats, she's the one who handles the database.
Okay. So the so many messages are coming. So that's the reason why I just wanted to confirm that
Correct.
information.
No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best. Mr. Balaji.
Hi, ma'am. Morning. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
One query about the grade 1 assessment. My kid Yugan is in UKG now. Is it accompanied and interactive session with the teacher, or is it like he's given a worksheet and he has to do
That's
it
a
on his
very
own?
good question. That's a very good. No, the babies can't read. Most of them can't read the questions themselves. So there will be someone who is seated with the child who will read the questions for them. It's a 5-minute worksheet. The teacher will normally sit with the child and read the question out for them to do the assessment. So it's a
Sure.
one-on-one assessment. It's not, the baby is not left like they're not like 30 children in the class and them writing
Yeah.
everything together.
We get the worksheets in school today and we find it difficult. He finds it difficult to read it. So
Correct, because the
that's one.
questions are written differently and they are not in
Right.
a grade where they can read the questions themselves.
Thanks, ma'am. And another one, until last year, we were not getting the wait list number after we fill.
Yeah, this year, Ms. Shweta has actually taken time to program, and because she used to get like so many emails where people would ask, what is my waitlist number? What is my waitlist number? Do you think I should wait or not? So she has taken a lot of trouble to program the Google form in such a way that there will be a waitlist number so that you have an idea of where it is. That hasn't stopped them from sending back. Like I said, no, even yesterday we had email saying, I filled at 9:01. Do you think 150 is the correct waitlist number that I have got? So she said, yeah, it's based on the timestamp that you're getting the waitlist numbers.
Okay. So the moment we submit, we get to know the number.
Correct. You will get an email with the waitlist number. That's right.
Okay, sure. And I had a discrepancy with the date column that was there in the inquiry form, DDMMYY, but when it is displaying, it was ulta. I had raised this.
That is something that we were not able to correct. So it came up in a, so like, I had that issue for the last 2 years, but unfortunately Google form is made that way. So based on that, we
Okay. Thanks, ma'am. That's it. My query. Thank you.
All the best. Anyone with any other questions? I don't see any other raised hands. So if anyone has a question, kindly unmute yourself and ask the question.
Ma'am, just hi, ma'am, Divyanshi here. Sorry, your team has been answering my questions very patiently, and thank you for a very, very organized and planned session. But the only doubt, maybe a silly doubt you may call, just like what he asked,
No, there's
is
no
if
doubt
there is
that's
an
silly.
issue. If there is an issue with the date, month, something, how do we sort this? And do we have to enter the date of the kid in the form, or do we have to enter the date of birth as
Date of
on
birth,
in the
ma'am.
Google form?
The date of
birth we have to enter. Okay, and it will
So
auto-populate
what
the age
happens
at the
is
end.
the date of birth while entering shows as DDMMYY, but when we get it, or when we get the details, it comes out as MMDDYY. So it changes a little bit, but yeah, you can just see is it based on? Yeah, Shweta.
Yeah, ma'am, we had corrected the form. Now it shows us in MMDDYY and the same way it is captured.
MMDDYY. Okay, the
Yes.
screenshot has a DDMMYY, so that's why I
So
meant.
I think that's an old snapshot
Okay.
probably. And another thing is you anyways choose it from an age calculator. It is not something that you will input yourself. You have to click on that age thingy, select the year, month and everything. So it automatically takes it up correctly.
Okay, so I need to enter the age of the child as of 1st June 2024, not the date of birth.
No, ma'am, it is the date of birth.
Date of birth.
Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you.
It calculates automatically.
Okay.
But
Sorry, just trying to save
No,
those
no problem.
few seconds, which will lead to those very huge wait lists. Last year I've suffered for UKG, so this year I want to be doubly sure.
Correct, ma'am.
Thank
Correct.
you.
It's a concern. Don't worry about it. You've given it's a actual concern that a lot of parents
Yeah.
have. So it's a
Yeah.
calendar format. You will go to the year, you will go to the date, and you'll click on the date on the calendar.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank
you.
Hello, ma'am. Yes, Santosh here.
Yes, sir.
I am looking for a grade 3 admission for my son Vaibhav. But in the current school, they are forcing me to complete the admission for next year within the March. And if you are giving a confirmation by April, then it may be.
You chase us back in March and hopefully it'll work out before that, sir. We can't do, like you say, each school has its own thing. You know, they are also chasing, saying that in case that seat becomes vacant, they should have a chance to fill it up again. It's a similar case that we are going through. So it's the same thing, who blinks first kind of problem. So you check back with us, and whenever your school is asking for a date, you check back with us. Like our school, we are actually saying end of January itself. So it's dependent on when the seat becomes available. We are not able to confirm, or we can't ask a parent, are you leaving, or ask parents, let us know. We can only, in case there is a seat available, we can offer it.
Yeah, maybe I need to wait maximum time up to April and May, right, ma'am?
That's right, yeah. Or you drop us an email whenever your school is asking you, you drop us an email. We'll tell you, is there a possibility of it working out or not in the end of March when the time comes?
Yeah. Even at the time of May also, there is a possibility to get an admission?
100%, yes, in month of May. Yeah, so by April end, we remove the wait list. But yeah, you can check with us at any time. We are always available on email.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. I have one question. Good morning. Thanks a lot to you and the entire team. It's a wonderful session, very well articulated. Majority of the questions are covered. Just one thought I had. So for grade 2, what kind of assessment parameters we are looking for and expecting from a student?
It's very similar to grade 1. It will take about half an hour for the child to write. It's 10 marks for each subject, grade 1, English, maths, science and second language. So 10 marks papers will be there. Most of it will be multiple choice questions or single short answer type questions. In mathematics, we do have 1 or 2 word problems. But again, see, most of it is very simple. We are looking at, like, second grade will be based on early first grade and end of UKG. So you're not looking at very complicated papers. Most of the babies should be able to answer it. And it's mostly multiple choice questions. So again, just to give them that benefit of doubt, because the babies are coming from different backgrounds and curriculum and schools. So we are looking at basic knowledge.
Okay. And if I may ask, like looking into the current pattern, what kind of availability of seats we can expect for grade 2, if that is a feasible answer to?
Not something that we are able to we are not able to comment on that right now. Last year we had quite a few dropouts of grade 1, but we are not sure this year what happens.
Sure, we'll wait, ma'am. Thanks a lot for the answer.
All the best, sir. All the best. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. This is Gurpreet. Just wanted to check for grade 9, what's generally the assessment criteria?
Same, ma'am. It would be on English, math, science, and second language. The paper will be there, but then it's a 2-3 hour paper. So it's 15 marks, 15-20 marks in each paper. So each paper takes about 40 minutes. So it's almost a 3-hour paper for grade 9.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Nitya, yes. Please.
One last question. So, if the kid is applying for sixth grade, the assessment is for 40 marks, right, for the 4 subjects? And is it going to be a multiple choice or the
Mostly multiple choice and short answer, ma'am. There will be short answer based question where single sentence or 2 sentences explanation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Ma'am,
Yes.
good morning. Thank you for this informative session. One question. So before this waitlist form is released, like you've said a date 6th or 7th, it'll be released. Can we get a preview of what all is to be filled up and like what all is to be attached? I know you covered a bit of it, but can we get a
I
preview
covered
so that
all
we
of
are
it,
ready
sir.
with all
I didn't do a bit of it. I did all of it.
Okay. So, okay. So there's no preview, but whatever you covered is what we should be ready with to fill up.
Correct. So it's there on the chat also. You can go to the chat.
Okay.
I've actually put a screenshot of how the inquiry form looks. It's just 6 questions. Only 6 questions
Got
are
it.
there. Yeah.
Clear. Thank you, ma'am. And one final thing, just to be clear, so we fill up the form and we get a waitlist number and we wait for you to get back to us, which could be as far as April also. Like we just
That's
keep waiting.
right. Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. RK2, yeah.
Ma'am, one question. If we are coming back from outside India, I understood the answer about the assessment. You will still do about English, math, and a bit of Hindi or Kannada. But if assume for Kadya Kannada, the child knows the alphabet and all, but in the regular classes, would there be any because the child comes from outside? Would there be any separate help for the child to
100%
learn
yes.
further?
That's a good question. So we do have something called ILP, which is an individualized learning program. So when children, it's there every week, like we have 1 hour where children in different subjects, when they have any issues, they can go back to the teacher. There's a doubt clearance session. So the children come back and learn,
Okay.
and especially when somebody's coming from abroad, they are normally assigned a buddy in class, so the classmates also help. There is a very vibrant offline, not something that the school handles in any way, but parents are there. I'm very happy to say that a lot of parents are very supportive parents. So when I don't know how you get into it, but there are WhatsApp groups. They get formed normally by the beginning, and then that's a huge support group for parents, especially when they come from abroad. There are other parents who help you out and they say this is what is going to happen, that's what's going to happen, or there'll be someone who'll help you out with the notes. A teacher will assign a buddy for the child as well, because you realize, especially outstation students, we are extra protective of them.
Yeah, right. Mainly the question was related to Hindi or Kannada. I think English, math,
Hindi or
and
Kannada,
science
there
might
is
be
always, in fact,
Yeah.
it's more for Hindi and Kannada, because languages children do struggle, especially when they come from abroad. That is one of the subjects that they struggle in a lot, as compared to the concern is always the languages and not other subjects.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Purnendu?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am, and thanks for the session. It was really informative. So, most of my concerns got addressed. My daughter currently is in Greenwood, and this is for class 9th admission. She's in class 8 at the moment.
Okay.
Now, you talked about the pattern of the exam that will happen, correct? The assessment. So, for class 9th, it will be, I think, it will be not a multiple choice, or it is like multiple choice for 9th as well.
Grade 9 as well. It is multiple choice, but there's a little bit of rough work the child would need to do to fill it up.
Okay.
But it's not going to be lengthy essay type questions. Like, it will be still short answers, 1 or 2 sentence answers. It's not going to be a very long process.
Okay, sure.
It will still
Thank
be
you. Thank
multiple
you.
choice to a large extent. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. That helps.
Even though it's like a 3-hour paper, because each paper is written
that's
for
okay.
40 minutes. So each subject will be around 40 minutes. Maths will be slightly longer. English will be slightly, or say, science may be slightly shorter, but approximately around 40 minutes per hour from 8th standard upwards.
Yeah, it's required. Yeah, class 9th. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. And Nitya?
I was going through the chat and it was mentioned, it's similar to my case. The kid is not completing the age criteria, like the kid is in 5th grade or applying for 6th. And so they have asked to apply for both the grades, like 5th and 6th. Right now the kid is in 5th and he has to apply for 6th. But the suggestion mentioned apply for both 5th and 6th.
Only higher grades, not for lower grades, ma'am. Less than second, first grade, second grade, kindergarten, we are the age criteria is the first thing. Where there's no age criteria, we will ask them to apply. You can apply for both and we will check it out. Because the assessment becomes a good criteria to check for. Like even for a first grade child who comes to us when they write the exam, so many times there are babies who are just scared because you come to a new school, one new auntie sitting over there. So you can't really gauge, or the child is just not in a mood to write that exam that particular day when they are 6 years old or they're 5 years old, 5.5 years old, when they come to write the entrance exam. So it cannot be a less than 7-year-old babies because of like whatever experience we have. Assessment does not really show what they know. But beyond third, fourth grade, the babies are very clear. They understand what an assessment means. They understand the basis on which this is the basis on which the admission is done. So even then, there are a lot of times when we have had to coax them, like say 5th, 6th grade. There are times when I said, even if you don't know the answer, it's a multiple choice questions. You can still answer. They'll say, no, ma'am, I've not taught this. I don't know. I'm like, say, do eeny, meeny, miny, mo and answer, because that many marks, there's no negative marking, you'll get in. So there is the explanation. So that is the reason why beyond third, fourth grade, we are okay to look at the assessment or look at the child, and if the baby doesn't look very small or the baby looks, can manage, we will take the child for a higher grade or for a lower grade. But below third grade, again, also the growth stage is very fast. If as a class teacher also, if you see in UKG to grade 1, or for LKG to UKG, to nursery to LKG, even in terms of actual sizes, the babies grow. You will see 3 inches, 2 inches difference from second onwards. It will be 1 inch per year. But before second grade, it's quite a few inches per year that they grow. The number of teeth they grow, the number of the things that they know, the concepts that they. So the growth level is much higher in kindergarten in grade 1 to 2 as compared to 2 years up, second grade upwards. So from 7 years onwards, it slows down. It slows down because of various levels, hormonally. Like you say, in 7th grade, in fact, if you go to even curriculum wise, in 2nd grade, you'll actually never learn anything new. Simply because it's a pause. It's the time when the baby loses teeth. They don't put on any inches. They actually lose teeth. It's like a pause. There's an accelerated growth till then, and but when they touch 7, there's like a full stop, like one break in their growth, and then it picks up again after that, because again the body says, okay, this is how much I'm getting done. They from a baby, they've become a adult by they are 7 years old. So again, so this is just my experience with the children that I'm speaking, which is why if it's a higher grade, we are able to kind of look at the baby and
yeah, I understand your point, ma'am. Yeah. So my question was, if the kid is in 5th grade, if he doesn't satisfy the age criteria, so can we apply for both 5th and 6th, or only apply for 6th, and then based on the assessment and the direct interview, you will decide? So that was
correct. That's right. Yes.
Second. So only apply for 6th grade.
That's right.
Okay. So no need to apply, because I saw in one of the chat, like they have asked us to apply in
that
both.
is, yeah, it depends on your doubt. It depends from parent to parent. Certain parents are very comfortable saying if they don't get in, again, if they're coming back from abroad or they are moving from an IB to IGCSE to a CBSE, parents are okay with a lower grade sometimes.
Right. Okay.
But
Okay.
it depends, yeah.
Thanks, ma'am.
Also the struggle with languages and struggle with other things. That's why. Basically, we want the baby to be comfortable. The childhood has to be enriched and not a stressful time for them. Yeah.
Thanks for your patience. Yeah. Thank you.
Pooja?
Yes, ma'am. One more query. As you said that grade 5 onwards, kids can choose French as a second language. So let us suppose till grade 4 they are learning Hindi. Are they able to take French in grade 5?
That's right. Because in grade 5, it's starting. Whether it's Sanskrit or French, it's the beginning of that subject. It's not even Urdu, it's the beginning of the subject. So they let go of, they're struggling with Hindi. Say, again, when we have kids who come back from abroad or something, they're struggling with Hindi, so they let go of Hindi and they're learning French instead. Or they're learning Sanskrit again. In children coming back from Europe, a lot of them know Sanskrit. And it's also a very high scoring subject. So that your kids score better in Sanskrit as compared to other subjects. So they choose Sanskrit instead. So it depends on the child. That in case you can let go of a particular subject, then because it starts completely fresh from the beginning.
Yeah, ma'am. And for grade 4, that assessment will be longer. Like for how long will it be? 30 minutes like that?
Pardon? I didn't understand.
Grade 4 written assessment will be like, for you said that for grade 1 it will be very small assessment like a worksheet. For grade 4, is it lengthy one?
Grade 4, yes, ma'am. It will be slightly lengthy. The assessment will take 2 hours simply
2
because
hours.
slightly
And
tougher. Maths will take a little longer. That's it. Yeah. Or an
so it is like
English, there will be small letter writing or there'll be an essay writing. So that takes a little longer because till 3rd grade,
longer.
you're having reading comprehension. From 4th grade, you're writing it.
Correct.
So that's why.
Yeah, correct, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. So then we'll log off and we wish everyone all the very best.
Ma'am, just one question. If I'm at Delhi, so is it possible to have assessment for 3rd grade by video call or something?
Of course, yes. We will do it online, not just any outstation
Okay.
candidate will do it online.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. See you then. All the best. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.